Hello, welcome to Gulotta Studios. I'm back. We're going to be doing the finishing layer of this painting, which is a city landscape type painting done all in palette knife. No brushes were used. And we're just doing the final layer here to finish up the painting. One of my challenges with these is that I like to use used paint. Rather than choosing colors, I like the challenge of using the paint that I've got. I paint a lot of other paintings, and sometimes I have some leftover paint on the palette. What do you do with that? Well, make some other paintings. So these paintings have a lot of different colors. I like that, a lot of different textures, very crunchy. And here the paint is now dry enough. I was painting this last week, and now it can take more paint without blending the colors too much. With this kind of painting, I don't want to blend the colors really smooth. For example, if you wanted a smoother painting, you would go for that where there's very smooth effects. But here I don't want smooth effects. I want very, very rough textures so that the paint really pops. So that's what I'm doing now, and we're going to complete this painting right here. I have 3 palettes to work with all kinds of really interesting colors. And one of the first things I want to do is I want to get some windows in, and I want to get some atmospheric effects. So I'm going to take out some of my fancier knives rather than the typical trowel. I want to use the trowel for this. For this, I need knives that are designed for details. Just one more I'm looking for here. I have a whole pack of them here. Just this whole, there goes one. Yeah, okay. And, there it is. Hooray. So today I'm going to be using this knife, a little bigger, and of course to complete that trio, this one here. And then I have these 2, which I'm going to use for the sky. I'm going to start with the sky because the sky's in the background. You don't want to be trying to put background on a foreground. It doesn't work. Trust me, I've tried. It doesn't work. And this is a very summery kind of a sky, so I want to continue with very bright summery kind of colors. So we're just going to get a nice load of paint on the edges there. And we're just going to streak them in. So here, all that texture is there to catch the other colors, and it bounces them around, bounces the colors around. There we go, nice sunny color here. There we go. You see, that looks a little darker, so I kind of want to add a little more just to brighten it up. There we go. It's like a summer morning. There we go. Bring that in. Bring that in. You can even wave things around, and that helps to mix things up a little bit. I've also got a very pale yellow. I'm just going to bring that in as well. Kind of make a serpentine movement. And then I've got these very peachy colors. There we go. Just to bring that in just a little bit more. I'm going to bring in some more of this right into the sky, and just a hint of some whites. There we go. All right, I'm going to put this knife down for the moment and get out the next one, which is this funny looking thing. One of my apprentices said it looks like a frog's foot, and yeah, I guess it does. And just bring that in, and this brings really interesting little trails into the sky. The sky has trails. Look at that, little sparks of color happening here. You can just press it in, you can streak them. It's a really versatile tool, and I'm really glad they invented these, because wow, they bring so many interesting little pockets of detail to the paintings. And they're a lot of fun to work with once you get the hang of them. You know, at first it's like, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do with these things? And then you kind of figure it out, you get a clue, you know, take a deep breath, you know, and then you can get things going in good order. So, you know, it takes a little time to get the hang of these. Definitely want to keep some of that blue up there. That's to show us that there is indeed a sky. It's very early morning on a hot summer's day. All right, the next thing I want to do, I want to work from back to front. And I'm going to use these little cutouts to make little windows in some of these structures back here. And again, we just get a little bit on the edge there. There we go. Okay. Very softly bring in just little marks. I'm going to go for a wetter color. Just bring in just some indications of some windows back there. Don't necessarily want them all running because not everyone has their lights on this early. Some people do. You know, we've got a little indication of some windows. I'm going to do the same thing with some colors. Go to this back one here and just pop in just a few. There we go. Just a few in there. This one is also very far back, but it's more shadowed, so I don't really want to put in too much light. Maybe just at the top there, just to indicate that there are some lights on. Use up some of this paint here. There we go. I was doing some figure work. So I had all these interesting flesh tones to work with. I do like using those for these city paintings. And then finally, I'm going to use this particular knife for this building right back here. And I'm going to bring this forward a little bit. Just make the indication maybe someone's living there. We're going to add some more colors to these. There we go. Wipe off the knife. Now I'm going to go into some very bright yellows and match them in. Just match them right in. There we go. So even everything's got to have an interesting array of colors. Otherwise, the painting will be dull. We don't want dull paintings. We want exciting paintings. That's what we want. Very exciting paintings. There's enough dull paintings in the world. Believe me, I've seen it. There we go. I'm going to do the same thing here. I like that color combination. Sometimes I find some very interesting color combinations. Now you see here I got this. I'm just going to, there we go. Make some reflections there. I do like to finger paint. Even with this, I sometimes do some finger painting. You know, it's an old habit of mine. I once had a teacher of the arts who, oh, I drove him crazy with that. He really didn't like that. And I enjoyed it, so he was always bugging me to stop doing that. I'm like, why? Titian did. Why can't I? Yes, I know I'm not Titian, but I think he would have approved. There we go. All right. I am done with this short knife now. We've got some nice windows going here. And now I'm going to bring in the medium. And that one is going to go on this building alone. It's the only building I really want that kind of work with. And I'm going to start with some very bright colors, not mixed. I'm just going to bring in some windows here that maybe caught the light. And the reflections of the light on the windows. Here and there. Just to give them a little extra personality. There we go. Just bring these in slowly but carefully. There. That's my cat doing his morning call. He likes to do that. As I'm going down, I'm using deeper colors to show that it's going deeper into the shadows of the city here. I'm kind of streaking them a little bit. There we go. And my strongest colors towards the bottom there. All right, so now we have that building set up. I'm gonna actually put this aside for later. All right, now we've got our big guy here. This one holds a lot of paint on the edges. As you can see here, it's a lot of paint on the edges. So we're gonna come up and we're just gonna put in some indications of a couple of windows at a time, just the tops. And then we're gonna come in, gonna do the same thing and get the bottoms. Now we're gonna come into the lighter colors. Once again, go into the tops, just like that. And again, there we go. Let's get these done. There we go. You want to leave a little room. If they're too tight, they won't look like they're proper stories. They'll just look like squares, like someone covered this with billboards. Don't really want that. There we go. Bring these in. Nice and light, various colors. I'm not mixing the colors, but I am giving them something to think about. There we go. Good. All right, now we've got those in. Let's get the bottoms of those. I'm going to go for some deeper colors. We're just going to come in, just like that. Just a little bit. Doesn't got to be much, just adds a little interest to the shape. And we're going to get a little darker here. There we go. Now we've got our windows in there. The very top ones, I want to highlight them slightly. There we go. And we got some reflected light there. Okay. Now we've got these areas here filled with trees. I'm going to use this round petal. And I'm just going to get some greens in there. And just follow the contours. Don't cover up too much. Cover up too much, it won't look right. We definitely want that indication of some green in with the blues. I always like altered colors. It's one of my favorite things. All right, I'm going to put that aside now. You just put the knives aside. You can always work on them later. Right now I want to get some of these darker colors here. Oh, there we go. And just bring them in. Just bring them in. Even the trees are feeling hot today. Oh, it's a hot day in the city. There we go. There. Now we've got a nice hot day in the city going. The trees are even hot. And now we've got some bits and pieces. Maybe a door here. Some little bits and pieces. Window here. Build that up just to get some indications of other things happening. something in the dark there. I'm going to put some highlights here. It's a bus stop. There we go. Get these little bits going. There. Little awning covering. Sometimes these do have those. You know, part of an awning. There's some lettering on it. Glassy effects. There we go. Yeah, some glassy effects. That's nice. I like that. Yeah. I'm going to give some indications of some other things happening in here. There. Nice happy piece. Now I also have this big building here. I've got to work on that. Otherwise, this painting won't be complete, will it? Well, can't have that, can we? So I'm just going to work with the first two tines. Just bring down some windows. There we go, get some of those deeper colors in. There we go. Good. Just to give some indication here. And let's complicate those. The touch. Yeah. Doesn't have to be crazy. There we go. All right. Now we've got that building all set. Few highlights on the trees here and there. There we go. Good, 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 good. All right. Now it comes for a part that I like being able to do, and that is to sign the work. Now for something like this with all these bright colors, my signature has to be darker. So I'm going to take some medium. I'm going to mix it into this really dark purpley color. There we go. Get a very ink-like. Just at the bottom. And I always start with one or two letters at a time. It takes a little patience. Gulotta. 17. Now I'm going to take another color. I'm going to mix that up in there. And let's bring in that. Oh yeah, that'll do. Yeah. Hang on a second. Let's get some more of this medium here. See, that's what happens when you get the signature in. So yeah, I kind of work on my signature about as much as I work on the painting. But it is important, and it should look like part of the art. It's the only part that I use the brush with is my signature for these paintings. So let me bring you closer so you can see the full painting. There we go. There it is. If you get really close, you can see all these little details all through it. Just like that. All right. So city number 10 is now finished, and you got to see it here live. I don't script anything here. There's enough scripting going on in the world. I don't need to add to that. I hope that you've enjoyed watching this painting come forth into completion with this final layer. And now it needs to dry thoroughly before I photograph it and then display it on my webpage, gulottastudios.com. So gulottastudios.com is going to see a few updates soon, hopefully over the next 3 weeks, as paintings dry well enough for photography. The reason I do that is that if a painting is wet, I'm always concerned about the photography equipment, and if something, you have to maneuver them a lot, you got to move things around. It's dangerous for the painting. Let it dry. Let it dry. This way, if something happens, you're not going to damage it. And also, the color quality of oils can sometimes shift a little bit between wet surface and dry surface. I want to avoid that so that the photograph shows what you're actually getting when it comes to the painting. And that's a real service to buyers. If you take the snapshot right away, it's not going to look the same. So I always wait for a while before I photograph them, just to make sure the paint is stable. So this is actually going to go on the wall here at my home studio and relax. Please check out my Facebook page, Facebook/David Gulotta, for live feeds Wednesdays at 10 a.m. And also here on YouTube, Wednesdays, I seem to be having the habit of having a weekly little painting session with you. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. So, have a wonderful day, keep on painting, and I'll see you next week. Take care from Gulotta Studios.